am with Emily Deck of Pinch Me Pretty, which is Medina's newest skincare and aesthetics boutique. We're going to learn a little bit more about Emily and her business today. And we're also going to get a few skincare tips along the way. And then y'all are going to get to see Emily work on my face. I am makeup free today doing this interview, so
I'm excited.
It's wonderful. First off, congrats on your new business.
Thank you.
Emily, when did you open?
We started taking people February.
Okay, February. So, but you just got the approval from Medina County and you're totally all licensed.
There was confusion about, because I'm doing it with somebody, we were told we only needed one inspection and then we found out we didn't. So she came, she did everything, I've got the paperwork, we're good.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And Emily is really gaining traction in the Medina area with her skincare business. And I happen to be a skincare junkie because I'm totally into self-care, and I think skincare is a really important aspect of self-care. So I'm beyond excited about interviewing you today, Emily. So your title is esthetician, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about like your schooling or what that means?
Yes, so I'm an advanced esthetician, which means I had to do 750 hours. I went to Raphael's Beauty School.
Okay.
So you do actually have to go to school for this, and then you have to do state board testing. So in school we had so many hours we were required to hit. We would do theory in the morning, which is book work, we would study, and then in the afternoons it was just taking clients that came in. Before we were ever allowed to touch anybody, we had to do written tests and we had to practice on other students, and then they would test us out on mannequin heads to make sure we were actually ready before we would take clients.
Wow.
And they want to make sure that we're in an actual safe space, that we know what we're doing, which makes sense. So before we ever touch anybody, they make sure that we know what we're doing, what we're talking about. And then I was pretty much just whatever somebody came in for the day, that was our practice. If someone walked in and needed an eyebrow wax, who wants to take an eyebrow wax? We have a facial, who wants to take a facial? So it was just whatever people came in for, that was our hands-on.
What did you feel like you got the most experience with while you were there?
I got a lot of things. I would say probably, I did a lot of dermaplanes, but it was also because when I knew that that was the case and I knew I needed to get practice, I would make Facebook posts. Who wants to come in and see me? I'm going to school. And I did. I had a lot of people that I know that would book with me, or we would do $5 facials.
Okay.
So I would say, all right, we're doing $5 facials at school. Come book with me. Because the last thing I wanted was if you were doing 6 hours on a Saturday. Saturdays were just like freebies. You weren't doing school, you were taking clients.
Oh, I hope that wasn't anything important, but.
Probably not. It's probably my phone, but it's fine. It was more like whoever comes in for whatever service, you just take it and you do however many hours you want, but we were required to get, I think it was 18 hours on Saturday a month. So you could split it up however you wanted. I chose to try and do longer Saturdays so that I could have a free Saturday. So the last thing I wanted was to have a Saturday where you're doing nothing. So I would make posts and people would come in. So they really kind of came in for whatever. I was really wanting to practice. I really wanted to practice dermaplane because I really enjoy it. So I did a lot of dermaplanes. I did a lot of facials and extractions. I love doing extractions. And I know that's something that grosses people out, but that's probably one of my favorite things to do.
Have you ever watched Dr. Pimple Popper?
I love her.
I do too.
Love.
I'm one of those weird people too that I love that kind of stuff.
It's like the bigger something is that comes out, the better. I'm disappointed when there's not like enough, when it's a huge welt and nothing comes out. I'm like,
Maybe we can get some video for those of you who love like the Dr. Pimple Popper thing. Maybe we can get some video of me of doing an extraction if you can find a good one.
Yeah, if you have something to extract, let's do it.
Yes, usually like around my nose seems to be where it's bad. So, I know you. I know you through a mutual friend, and I know that you're clearly passionate about skincare. So, what got you into this to skincare?
So it was kind of funny because really when I was younger, it was more just cosmetology based. I was into hair and makeup, and obviously I love makeup. It's fun. It's just, artistic and enjoyable, and it soothes me. So when I was looking into this, it was more because you really can't touch anybody. You can't do makeup in a salon or studio without having gone to school. Some states, I guess, allow it, but Ohio is not one.
Right.
So someone told me, well, why don't you go to be an esthetician? Because I wasn't into doing hair. I'm not about it. So that was her suggestion. So when I started looking it up and seeing what it entailed, I was really excited because I didn't realize it was a thing. We were discussing, like, in the Midwest, this is something that's not really popular yet, or it hasn't been. So that was something I'd never heard of. But the more I was looking into it and how it can help prevent aging and keep your skin healthy, I got really excited. And so that was the clear path that I wanted to take, because if I can help people look good and feel good, because I spent so long not, that's what I want to do.
Right.
I'm all about it.
Right. Absolutely. So what, let's see here, where am I? Oh, what do you specialize in? Like, who can you help the most? I know the last time I met with you, you showed me a picture of somebody you had worked on, and they were struggling with, like, acne.
Yeah.
And even though, like, the procedure, whatever you did on her, it kind of made her face a little bit inflamed the day after, but then you showed me a picture like a couple of days after, and she looked amazing.
She looks even better now. So here's the things with acne. Everybody's different. We kind of have some rules that we would go by, but what works for her may not work for another person. So it's really kind of like going to a doctor and getting a treatment. Every person is going to be different. A prescription for one person isn't necessarily going to work across the board. So we really had to kind of figure some things out with her specifically and tailor the treatments to her specifically. And I can honestly say she showed me pictures every day this week. This is the clearest I think I've seen her skin since the beginning of the year. She has nothing on her face.
Wow.
Yes.
So okay, that's something you do. You can help people potentially with their acne. What would you say is your favorite thing to do?
Oh, I love doing oxygen facials with Dermaplane.
Okay.
I think that they have great results. Dermaplane is my favorite, period. I just love doing it. It's soothing for me, but it's soothing for people who are on the bed too.
What is it?
I'm glad you asked. So, this sometimes some people are very brave and excited. Other people, they're not so sure. So I want to rest assured, if you come and you have this done by someone who is certified, this is a very safe procedure. But what we're doing is we're taking a scalpel and we're going to cleanse the face, go through all the steps, and when it's time, this is going to be your exfoliating step. So we hold the skin taut and we hold the blade at an angle, and we pretty much are getting rid of all of your dead skin and your vellus hair, which would be your peach fuzz.
Okay.
So this is great. It's going to help with lines, wrinkles, product penetration. If you are someone that wears makeup, you will have the best makeup application of your life because everything is going to be smooth. It's going to be almost an airbrushed effect.
Wow.
You just look so good. I love doing it. It does take a while depending on the person's skin. Some people I've done a Dermaplane really quick because they don't have much dead skin or they don't have much peach fuzz. I've had other people where it takes a little longer, just depending on how much dead skin they've got.
Okay.
I have a 4x4, just like a cloth, that I tend to scrape and I put everything on. There are some people, when I'm done, it's completely filled up with hair and dead skin.
Oh my gosh.
And then there are others where they've been doing skincare at home since they've been seeing me. First time they saw me, it was completely covered. Now I cover not even half of a 4x4.
Wow.
So when you're really taking care of your skin, you're coming in here regularly, it's really a partnership.
Right.
The better your skincare is, and there are several ways to tell, but that's one way I can tell is when I do a Dermaplane and there's not as much dead skin, there's not as much filling my 4x4, I know that we're doing something right, that you're taking care of your skin. So it's one of my favorite services, and it's soothing for me, and oddly enough, I have people who fall asleep during it.
Huh.
I know, you wouldn't think, but I do. I've had people who start like bobbing their heads because they're just so relaxed.
You're like, I have a blade, hold still.
Don't know.
Right. Well, that actually kind of brings me to my next question, which is, how often does somebody come to see like somebody like you, or is it dependent on the person?
It is recommended every 4 weeks. That is especially if you're doing things at home. If you're not doing things at home and you're just coming every 4 weeks, it's still good. It's still better than nothing. But every 4 weeks is usually about what we need to try and keep things on track. My friend with the acne, we've had her coming in every 2 just because we've been really working on a specific end goal. She's had some real issues. We've been doing extractions. This whole side of her face was acne with Melia. So Melia is kind of cyst-like. It's where keratin oils and like hair will just kind of congest an area of the skin.
Right.
And honestly, when you get it out, it looks like the tiniest thing you've ever seen, but it causes such huge inflammation. They almost look like whiteheads, but they're not poppable.
Okay.
So when you come in, you have to do extractions, and sometimes you can use things at home that'll take care of it, but there are times where I have to get something and we work it out.
Right.
And so she's been coming every 2 weeks to try and take care of that, and the bumps are going down, her skin is looking smoother. So really it kind of depends on your treatment, but typically it's 4 weeks. If we're working towards something specific, we might adjust that.
Right. And, you know, I like to tell people, just like with working out or that type of thing, skincare, or, you know, even going to something like a chiropractor,
Mm-hmm.
it's a maintenance thing.
Absolutely.
It's not like you go one time and then, you know, everything is perfect. You know, it's like, I like to liken it to taking care of your car. If you don't get an oil change every 3, or in my case 5,000 miles, eventually your car is not going to run well.
Yes.
So, you know, I think self-care is the same way. You have to do it regularly to see and feel the results of it.
Absolutely.
All right, what is the biggest skincare or makeup mistake that you see women make, or that you kind of know women are making?
This was hard for me because there are a few things. One thing that I have a hard time with is if you're someone who wears makeup, a lot of women aren't wearing primers.
Okay, I don't wear primers, so this is
here's
good for
why.
me.
Here's why. If you're watching people like Jaclyn Hill or James Charles, they're like, we think it's a myth, you don't need it, just put on a good moisturizer. They're talking about the way it makes your makeup look. And if that's the case, then that's fine. Yes, a good moisturizer is going to help kind of smooth out the skin and give you an airbrushed look. Primer isn't always just to give you that look. It does do that as well, but primer is protecting your face.
Okay.
When you put on your foundation, it's going to seep down into your skin, especially if you have large pores like I do around this area, right? It's going to get down in there. When your skin is congested, that's when you end up getting problems, like you can get breakouts or Melia, etc., etc., etc. Your primer is what's pretty much acting as that middle layer between your skin and the heavy foundations and concealers that you're putting on.
Okay.
So I'm a firm believer in primers because it's protecting your skin. That's big for me.
Yeah.
Everything that you do is about protecting your skin, and I don't care if you're someone that likes to wear a lot of makeup, because I do. It's fun, it's enjoyable. If you want to do it, have at it. Just please protect your skin while you're in the process of it.
That's a great tip. I mean, and honestly, I really need to do that, because I do things like exercise with my makeup on. So, and then I wonder, like, you know, well, why is my skin kind of breaking out? You know, because I also can't always wash my face right after.
Yes.
So I think maybe a primer, right. Maybe a primer would help me out a little bit with that protection, but that's a really great point. So I thank you for sharing that little skin tip. All right, your business name is Pinch Me Pretty, but it is spelled Pinsche.
Yeah.
So can you tell me the story behind the name?
Yes, I have grown up with Doberman Pinschers my entire life. We have number 6 and 7 at home right now. So I'm talking before I was born, my parents had Dobermans and we just kept with them ever since. So I was just looking for something unique. The name Pinch Me Pretty just stuck out in my head. I loved it, but I didn't want to be copyrighted or anyone else have my name.
Right.
And that just kind of clicked in my head. Doberman Pinschers, Pinch Me Pretty. And so that's why I have the Doberman in my logo. I've had people ask me, you don't do anything with Dobermans. Why?
But it's special to you, so,
It is.
you know, and that's, I love the backstory behind that. And I love the name too.
Thank you.
Pinch Me Pretty, that just sticks in my mind. So
It's easy to remember.
It is. It really is. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Okay, slightly off-topic question.
Yes.
And we're not going to go too far into this because Emily was actually a guest on a health podcast that I co-host with a friend. And this is the mutual friend that we met from. And I am going to link to that within this post. But you lost a significant amount of weight, correct?
Yes.
So can you, and you've been able to keep it off. So can you tell the Akron, Ohio Mom viewers a little bit about how much you lost and like what motivated you?
Yeah, so total I've lost about 62 pounds, and on your podcast we discussed that my small Doberman, the one that just turned a year old, is 65 pounds. So I lost the equivalent of my
Your
dog.
dogs, right?
Which is significant when you're looking at Dobermans. That's not a small feat, that's huge. So 62 pounds, and it's taken me a lot of time over the years because I've had to figure out diet and exercise and what's worked. Trying to figure out how to shorten this as much as I can. It was health reasons. I was concerned that maybe I was becoming diabetic. It was insecurities just with going out in public and being seen. And I had a loving community. It was nobody that would put blame on me or make me feel like I was overweight. It was all in my head that I just wasn't happy. I didn't like how I felt physically, and I just didn't like how I felt to myself in here.
Right.
And it was just a change that I wanted to make, and when I decided to do it, I just went at it.
That's awesome. But I do love though that, and if you listen to the podcast episode, you will hear Emily talk about how it took longer than just 6 weeks, and it was up and a journey of up and down, and I think more women and men too, but I think more people need to hear that it wasn't just like, oh, you know, I went on a diet and 6 weeks later I was all better.
There's no cookie cutter answer. And I think just like what we were discussing with skincare, it's not the same for every person.
That's right.
So some people will try one diet, and I would try it, it didn't necessarily work. So it was a struggle because it's figuring out what worked for me, what exercise worked for me, and a lot of trial and error, but now I found something that works and it's been consistent.
Right.
And I think that's really what it comes down to, is just consistency.
Right. All right, so we're going to bring it to a close here. How can people find you and Pinch Me Pretty?
So they can call. I can link my phone number if you want.
We will, yes. In this post, we're going to have links to, do you have a website or are you Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay, so we'll link to Facebook and Instagram, and we'll definitely put Emily's phone number. Do you do email contact, or do you typically do just phone?
I can do email. I don't think it's syncing right now, but I'm going to look into that. So email is fine. Texting is always great. So if you link my phone number, shoot me a text. Phone calls do get lost, so I'll admit I probably wouldn't call, but texting is great.
Right.
My Facebook is Pinch Me Pretty LLC.
Okay.
And then my Instagram is just Pinch Me Pretty.
Okay.
And I think you can send me messages through Instagram as well. So whatever ends up being easier, whatever people are most active on.
Right. All right. It was so nice doing this interview with you. So make sure that you find and follow Emily Deck and Pinch Me Pretty so that you get all the latest skincare information. You can learn more about this awesome new business in Medina. So, bye. Okay, Emily. So tell everybody what's kind of going on here with my face. I got some blue and
We have a few things going on. So you mentioned that this area here you tend to be a little drier,
right,
but in your T-zone and chin, that's where you're a little more oily. So what we've done for the dry areas is we have an enzyme mask on your face. Enzymes are my favorite way to exfoliate because it's going to gently get rid of your dead skin. And then the blue mask is one of our new masks from Image. It's called the Firming Transformation Mask. This has jojoba beads in it. So what we're going to do is we let this sit on the face 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to wet my hands and we're going to massage it into the skin for about a minute. So those beads, you'll feel those in there. And eventually we'll take everything off at the same time. What's nice about this mask is this is natural. This is not artificial coloring. This is from volcanic ash. I mentioned that it has jojoba beads, and it also will oxygenate your skin.
Right?
So
it feels great.
It's kind of, I hate to say luxurious all the time, but that's kind of what this does. Your skin just feels like it's being nourished, and you're doing nothing but just relaxing.
Well, and I have to say, like, this is different than any facial I've ever had, because it's usually like, I feel like they're just rubbing stuff on your face, but you like did a lot of massage work on my face, and I hold my tension in my jaw, and so like I feel so relaxed right now, and all of this stuff feels really good.
One of the benefits of a facial is actually a facial massage, and a lot of the time people will skip over that part because it is an extra step.
Right.
I just incorporate it right into my service because that's helping to promote collagen production and push everything up to the surface. So that's going to help kind of fill lines in your face, give that overall plumpness that we like. So I like anything that I do, I like to make sure that I'm working those massage moves into the movements.
Right. No, this is awesome. So
and you look great.
Oh, yeah, I know. I look awesome right now. So you're gonna do So this is extractions, right?
Yes. So this is an extraction tool, and you never want to press too hard on the skin. You don't want to scrape the skin. You kind of want to go around the area and work it loose. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do. And sometimes the skin just doesn't want to give. So like this one, I can see it's trying, but it's not ready, so we're going to skip it for a minute. And this
I'm
right
totally
here.
geeking out, Dr. Pimple Popper style.
Isn't it kind of amazing? Can you see it on the camera?
I don't know if they'll be able to see it, but I'm still like.
See, I don't know.
Oh yeah, totally. I can see that.
It is.
Maybe a little bit,
Is
but
it picking it up?
either way,
I'm excited.
It's fascinating stuff.
I apparently make ooh-ah noises a lot when I do this,
bet.
just because it's so satisfying. This tends to be the most congested area on the nose a lot of the
Yes.
time. I think it's the hardest to clean and exfoliate, and it's just easy, like if you're a makeup wearer, your makeup gets stuck in there, the grime of the day.